Hi there. So I wanted to have a chat about the Atomos Connect series, so the Connect module for the Ninja V Plus and the Ninja V, and also the new 2023 version of the Atomos Ninja, and then the Shogun Connect, which is an integrated unit. And if this is something worth investing in, and if it's the unit for you. First of all, let's start with what is the Atomos Connect unit. Well, the Atomos Connect unit basically combines the old timecode module with the SDI module and then adds wireless functionality to it on top of it. So basically what you're getting is a one combined unit where you now can have timecode and SDI in one unit. What you lose in the process is the SDI out. It has only an SDI in, and up until June 2023 you also lost the Bluetooth timecode capability to connect to Bluetooth timecode modules that are using the timecode system's Atomos style timecode. Now that has been fixed in firmware 1092, luckily, so we have that functionality back. That was one thing that I sort of was a bit annoyed about, because basically if you didn't have an ultrasync blue, then you had no ability to use the Bluetooth timecode functionality that Atomos has. That's now back in the Atomos Connect unit, so that's one good thing. I've had my unit, I actually have two of the Atomos Connect units, a Ninja V and I have a Ninja V Plus, and that's because historically I've had my GH6, for example, there was more resolutions on the V Plus than on the V, but I had a Ninja V for an EOS R that I for a period used for recording videos. What is the Atomos Connect good for? If you use Frame.io, obviously the Atomos Connect makes perfectly sense. The Atomos Connect also supports streaming to YouTube, Facebook, onto custom RTMP. That functionality is utterly useless, and I'll get into why. As of December 2022, NDI was introduced into the Atomos Connect series as a beta back then, and that allowed for 1080p 60 NDI output on the Ninja V Plus and the Shogun Connect, and allowed for 1080p 30 on the Ninja V, which is a seriously good feature. It's what I use my Atomos Connect exclusively for. That's the only thing I actually have them for, is for NDI. So I can basically set up the cameras in a setup and then NDI stream into, for example, OBS for live streams. So I live stream with the Atomos Connect, but I don't use the internal RTMP Facebook or YouTube functionality because it's useless. The reason that especially the custom RTMP functionality is useless is because it used to silently disconnect if you had a connection failure and wouldn't automatically try to reconnect. I'm not sure if they fixed that, because I haven't used RTMP since. The reason I haven't used RTMP since is that you can't adjust the bitrate. You stream with whatever bitrate they hard-coded in there, and that's it. So if you have a lack of bandwidth, if you're streaming on a lower bandwidth, then the only thing you can do is you can switch from 1080p to 720p, but you can't custom adjust the bitrate to your need. And that's just a feature that is absolutely useless. So RTMP, Facebook and YouTube streaming straight out of the Atomos Connect is not something I would advise anybody to buy the unit for. NDI has one downside on the way it's implemented on the Atomos Connect. I've raised this with Atomos support, but with like any other feature requests, Atomos support is not good. They literally don't know what they're at. That has been my experience, and I can give an idea on how bad it is with them actually. I have a timeline for that, so we get into that. So the one shortcut with Atomos Connect and NDI is that they use PCM audio only. It's a combination that is not very common. Like if you send the video as H.265, and then you send the audio as tagged as NDI, which is a PCM audio feed, a lot of decoders won't be able to decode the audio. So you find that if you use something like the TBS 2603 AU as your NDI decoder, you will have no audio. If the audio instead was encoded as AAC, you would have audio. I had this problem with the Magewell Director Mini, that I had no audio coming from the Atomos Ninja Connect, but Magewell fortunately are very proactive and very responsive with their support, and they have, as of December 2023, added PCM audio to the Magewell Director Mini. It already worked on their ProConvert NDI units, so it was clear that they obviously knew what they were at, where Atomos doesn't know what they're at. So to give you an idea on the timeline, the Connect series was announced at NAB 2022 in April 2022. It took Atomos until July to start shipping the unit. So I got my first Connect unit in the end of July 2022. And right out of the door, custom RTMP wasn't even implemented yet. Facebook and YouTube were there. I couldn't use YouTube because my channel wasn't monetized at the time, so I couldn't even use that feature. So my initial streams were test streams to Facebook. Frame.io is not something that I use, so that didn't matter to me. And then on the 2nd of August came a update to Atomos Cloud that custom RTMP was possible. And that's when I actually raced with them 1.5 years ago. I raced with them that there was no bitrate setting, and that wasn't very good. So at the time, they hadn't monetized cloud yet, the Atomos Cloud. So I had 720p and 1080p available. By the time that the Atomos Cloud then was monetized, and this is another thing where I find that the RTMP or the streaming features in the Atomos Connect are useless, because the way it's now is that you only get 720p unless you pay them a monthly Atomos Cloud subscription. And just no, that's not interested. I don't use Frame.io, so it doesn't matter to me. So NDI was sort of the thing that I'm left with when it comes to the Atomos Connect. So my use case for an Atomos Connect is NDI, SDI in, and timecode, and I have it all in one unit. So that's what I use it for. Yeah, so end of December 2022, the NDI beta launched. So from July, when I bought my unit, to December, it was actually the most useless device. And in history, that's not the first stunt Atomos have pulled like that, because the Atom X cast units were completely useless at the very beginning. And I have one, and I still find that I have other devices that do the job much better. For example, the ATEM Mini units. So come March 2023, Atomos decides that the beta is over, and we now have to pay for the NDI module. The NDI module costs $99, like a lot of the other stuff that Atomos has. And the thing for me was I couldn't stay on the beta firmware, because by the end of March 2023 with 10.90, we finally got the update that the Atomos Ninja V and V Plus would support the Canon R6 Mark II. I have one of those, so obviously I wanted that update. So I went in and I upgraded both my units. I bought the option for NDI on my Ninja V, went into my support account for my Ninja V Plus, and nothing. I couldn't even buy the NDI option for that. So I contacted support at the end of March 23 to why this wasn't listed, and it took them over 2 weeks to resolve this. What basically had happened, and this gets even worse. What had happened actually goes back to May 2022. Since May 2022, I have not been able to see the firmware updates for my Ninja V Plus in the support portal. I had always to go on the public facing site, click into the product for the Ninja V Plus, find the firmware update there, and then download it from there. And I had raised that with the ticket with them in May 2022. Come to March 2023, that was never resolved because they didn't know what was going on. But now something had to be done about it because I couldn't even buy the updates for the Ninja V Plus, so I couldn't get NDI support back. In the meanwhile, I was surviving on my Ninja V. Over 2 weeks later, it turns out I originally bought a Ninja V Plus Pro kit, like a kit with everything in it, with the bag, with all the extras and that. And Atomos had never updated the options for those. They had basically buggered their own product database. So their solution, after rummaging around for 2 weeks, was to change my Ninja V Plus Pro kit to a Ninja V Plus, and suddenly everything appeared again. I could download firmwares in the support portal. I could buy the NDI module for my Ninja V Plus, and it was quite a journey. So it's been pretty good since then. For me, just for the NDI functionality and then having timecode and SDI in the same module, that works for me. That's why I actually bought a second one. And as of 23rd of June 2023, we now also have Bluetooth timecode back in the Atomos Connect units. So that's great. There is another thing that you need to consider if you're going down the route and buying a Ninja V or V Plus Connect module. If you're using SSD drives, either the big carriers, you get a new carrier at the bottom of the box that is lower profile than the original carriers, because the original carriers, you can see this here. I have the drive here, you get this handle, and this is the Angelbird SSD that fits specifically for the Connect module. But if you have the old carriers, or you went down the route of converting the Samsung T5 SSDs into the Andy-Cine Lunchbox, the first generation of these screws here on top of the Andy-Cine module, they will stick out and you can't use it with the Connect. So you can't use these anymore when you have your Connect module on. So that's something to consider. So your cheaper option is that caddy, the second low profile caddy, that you get one with the Connect module, or you use the Angelbird SSD that is specifically designed for the Atomos Ninja. There was also a Sony SSD very early. I don't have any of those. They can't be bought anymore. So Atomos Connect, 1.5 years in. If you use Frame.io, absolutely. If you use NDI, you want NDI output out of your camera, absolutely. You can actually record 4K in the Atomos Ninja 5 and 5 Plus, but your NDI stream will only be 1080p. It will downsample, no problems there, so you're fine on that. If you want to use it for streaming directly to Facebook or YouTube or a RTMP server somewhere, I cannot recommend buying the Atomos Connect for that. It's not fit for purpose in that regard. If you use Frame.io, or you want to stream NDI to a NDI receiver, absolutely, Connect is a great product for that. I hope that video helps to give you a bit insight into Atomos Connect. And if this was helpful, give us a like, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you in another video.